Hey y'all, it's me, your boy T-Bone. Just gonna go ahead and jump right back into lesson 56, plotting functions. Okay, now this is a little different. This is I think more new material. So remember, a function is a mathematical rule defining the relationship between two sets of numbers. And what we really mean by that is a function is a way for us to find all of the possible answers to a equation when there's two variables, because you can't solve with two variables. Okay, you can only solve with one variable, okay, and an equal sign. So if you have two variables, you can't actually solve and find the answer. You can't find a definitive answer. However, what you can do is you can find all of the possible solutions. And that's where a graph comes in. And a function is just showing these two variables on a graph. Okay. So we'll talk about like f of x, function of x. And what that is like if x equals 1, what does y equal? If x equals 2, what does y equal? If x equals 3, what does y equal? And that's what the function of x means. It's just a way of finding out all of the different answers. And we see that exactly right here. When x is 1, in this case, y is 4. When x is 2, y is 8. When x is 3, y is 12, and so on and so forth. Okay. Don't think you'll have much issue with that. It is a little confusing to think about, and I don't know if the book does the best job of talking about it, but they do walk you through it here. Okay. Let's see. So here we see the same thing. Okay. Essentially, we see that line. Okay. Because the cool thing about it is instead of having to do the math for every single one of these, you can draw a line, and that line goes on forever. And as long as your graph is big enough, you can go ahead and just immediately see what happens if x is 20. Okay. Or if x is 20, then y is 80, right? So going ahead to the next one, we see a different input-output. Now when x is 0, y is also 0. Okay, that's important. That means that there's not the y-axis. It means it goes right through that point here. We're going to later see graphs that don't necessarily both start at 0, 0. But when you're learning graphs, it's nice and easy to have that be your origin point. So when x is 1, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 4. Okay. So it seems like y is just nice and easy, just double whatever x is, with the exception of 0, because 2 times 0 is 0. Okay. Interesting thing, it talks about negative numbers, which would go down this way, making that line continue forever in both directions. Okay. The one thing I want to introduce to you here is a phrase that you'll hear me talk about a lot. Y equals mx plus b. Okay. This is the equation. It's the equation for a line. This is graphing a line. Okay. Right now, when we see y equals 1/2 x, okay, it's plus 0. That 0 is it exists there. It just doesn't. It's not there. That 0 tells us where it hits the y-axis. And as I mentioned, they hit the y-axis right at that center origin line. Okay. I don't think that's graphed correctly. This graph is not done correctly. Just so you know, that line is not done correctly. That is an incorrect line. That line should be going through the origin point there. I don't know how they got it so wrong. Because you can even see that doesn't even hit the same spots. That is all kinds of wrong. What? Anyway, this is very wrong graph. Ignore this. This one's correct, though. So 0 is where it hits the y-axis. Okay. So if you see it where it just says y equals 1/2 x, that 0, that b, that y-intercept is just 0. It doesn't need to be there. The m, okay, that's what's called our slope. And 1/2 is our slope. Okay, which means that every time we go up 1 on our y-axis, we then go over 2 on our x-axis. And if that doesn't make sense, that's fine. We're going to go into that later in a lot of detail. Okay. Yeah, we'll really go into this y equals mx plus b stuff later. So don't worry about it right now. Just you can focus on the simple stuff. I just want to get you a little prep for it because it'll come up and it'll be complicated. Your written practice. Let's see. Yeah, let's do 1 through 29 odd. Okay, and that's it for you guys. Have a good one.